Hi guys, it's me again. If you don't remember me, I'm that guy that said he's going to change his life. You know, that's your neighbor. That's your crazy neighbor, the one that said he wants to change his life. Okay, that's me. So today I'll be looking at goal setting. You know, the goal that I have set to change my life. I want to know how reasonable it is, how achievable it is. So I put the goal through a test, and I had a result. So find out, in the video whether or not I'm abandoning this whole project. Okay, so just enjoy. Yeah, so I'll be talking about the SMART goal setting technique, which I believe is the most popular goal setting technique for both corporations and for personal goals, both corporation goals and personal goals. So first thing is, I believe the SMART goal setting technique came into being sometime in the 1950s, and it's been around for that long. I came across the SMART goal setting technique in some entrepreneurial training that I attended some time ago, and I've been coming across it even going forward in meetings, both entrepreneurial meetings, religious meetings, and all over the place. Everybody is saying your goal has to be smart, your goal has to be smart. So I decided to find out what a SMART goal really means. And so SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timed. So the idea is that for a goal to be achievable, it has to be smart. So I decided to be smart about this and set a SMART goal. Okay, so I had mentioned earlier that the goals that I intend to achieve are around transforming my life in the 7 dimensions of wellness. So that's my goal. And in my opinion, that in itself is a specific goal. It's a very specific goal. It's clear. If you listen to that, you would understand what I'm trying to do. But more than that, I've gone even further to mention that my goal is to improve my life by learning skills, and gaining knowledge that would improve, myself in those specific areas of wellness. So a simple example is in the occupational dimension, I will be learning and acquiring skills that would help me better myself in my professional pursuit. So that's one way that I'm being specific, about that goal. Okay, so in my opinion, I think, the goal I'm pursuing is specific enough. So maybe you should tell me what you think. Do you have goals that are specific? Let me know. So I'll move on to the next one, which is measurable. And this is where my problem started. But then let me first of all explain what a measurable goal is. So a measurable goal is basically saying that your goal can be measured so that when it is achieved, it will be clear for anybody who's watching, who's listening, to know, oh, this goal has been achieved. A simple example is if you say you want to lose a particular amount of weight. It's a measurable goal because you can easily measure how much you weighed at the time you started the challenge, and at the end you weigh yourself to find out how much weight you have lost. Another example is to say you want to run a 10 kilometers marathon. It's easy for that goal to be measurable. You know where you start, the starting point, you know the finish line, and you're able to tell if you met that goal. So that's a goal being measurable. But then I know there are goals that are not exactly measurable. A simple example is if you say, I want to be a leader. I want to be a leader in my community. It's not exactly possible for you to measure that goal to know, okay, he is now a leader or he's not a leader. But I think the way around it, even though the goal is not measurable, is for you to decide to, pursue certain aspects of that goal that is measurable so that you can tell when you've achieved the goal, even though the main goal itself doesn't seem measurable. So using the example of being a leader, there are certain skills that a leader must have. So if you decide to concentrate on honing those skills and manifesting them, the moment you find out that you have manifested all those skills and you have a good grasp of them, you can then say, I have become a good leader. Even though the idea of the good leader in itself is not a measurable goal. But if you're able to measure the skill sets that you need to acquire and you can confirm that you have acquired them, then you have met, that metric of measurability. Okay. The third one is achievable, and this is what I completely disagree with, and I'll tell you why. So this is saying that if you are setting a goal, you have to set a goal that is measurable, that is achievable rather. And I believe that is wrong completely, and I'll say why. I believe it is wrong because when we talk about measurability, when we talk about achievability, can you imagine I keep saying measurability. When we talk about the achievability of a goal, we're talking about our perception of that thing. It's not, there's no yardstick that, there's no universal yardstick that you can use to measure whether a goal is achievable or not. It's basically going to be dependent on our own thinking, our own belief of whether it is achievable or not. And you and I would agree that our beliefs are limited in a lot of ways, either by the facts that we have or by, a limited amount of knowledge that currently exists at the time. For example, when it was believed by the sciences that the world was square in shape, nobody could dream of traveling the world. But the truth is that the world was actually sphere at the time that they thought it was, square in shape. And what that meant was people could not dream of traveling the world because they felt it was not an achievable goal, even though it indeed was an achievable goal. So if you ask me, I think measuring a goal by whether or not it's achievable is completely out of place for me, because at the end of the day, you cannot know everything. You might not have all the information to tell whether a goal is achievable or not. And if you disqualify yourself based on your limited knowledge of what a goal is and what it will take to achieve a goal, then you've shot yourself in the foot. So in my opinion, I'm not really looking at the achievability of my goals, because I believe honestly that anything is achievable if you set your mind to it. And again, I'm ready to fail, I think, which is the most important thing in all of this. If you are setting a goal that is achievable, you are saying you are not leaving any room for error. You don't want to fail at all, and that's a very bad thing to do. We are supposed to set goals, even the ones that we can achieve and the ones we cannot achieve, because at the end of the day, the beauty is in the process and not in the outcome. If we can pursue these goals and achieve them, wonderful. If we don't achieve them, we would have learned from our mistakes. So at the end of the day, it's a learning process. So I'm not exactly intending to set goals that are achievable. I'm going to dream without boundaries and see what happens. Okay? That's it. So what do you think? Are you going to set achievable goals or not? You should let me know. Yeah. So the next one is relevant. So the idea behind this is they're saying, look, if you want to set a goal, you have to set a goal that is relevant to another aspiration or another goal that you have set for yourself. So set goals that are connected to some other thing that you're pursuing, in life. Beautiful example is if you say, I want to lose so and so amount of weight, and you are trying to be a model, which is another goal of yours. The goal of trying to lose weight is connected to that other aspiration of you becoming a model. So if you are losing that weight, you are also working closer to achieving your goal of becoming a model. Another example is if you say, I want to read for an hour a day, and you are also trying to pass an exam. Maybe you're looking to sit for some professional exam or whatever exam that it is. Your aspiration to read 1 hour a day, or that goal to read 1 hour a day, is going to help you achieve your goal of passing the exam. So that's a goal that is relevant. But then I honestly believe that there are goals that are not necessarily relevant, but you can actually pursue and achieve them. A simple example, I don't have too many examples, I have one, and I think that one is very strong, and it has been staring you guys in the face from the beginning of this video. So what is that? 2 years ago, I decided I was going to run the marathon, the Lagos Marathon, 10 kilometers. I had just 1 month to prepare. There was nothing that goal was connected with. I was not trying to lose weight. I was not trying to become a professional athlete or anything. I just felt I wanted to run the marathon because it was an exciting thing to do. And you know what? I ran that marathon and I completed it in 1 hour and 30 minutes. Okay? And here's proof. It's been staring you guys in the face all this time. This is my medal for completing the Lagos State Marathon. I'm hanging it back. So I put it there as a reminder that not all goals are relevant, and it's okay for your goal not to be relevant to some other aspiration of your life. The important thing is that you have a yearning in your heart to do something. And the truth is, I understand why that metric is there, the metric of relevance. It's there because Sometimes when you get tired of pursuing a goal, if you are reminded that it is connected with some other goal of yours, the zeal to continue pursuing it, will definitely be there. And that might not necessarily be the case for a goal that is a standalone goal. But that's still okay. You can also find some other ways to motivate yourself to achieve a goal, even though it is not connected with any other goal. So in my opinion, I'm not exactly, bent on ensuring that all my goals are relevant. Okay? Now the last one, which is most important to me, is the goal being timed. So the thing is this, I believe this is like the strongest point there, because if your goal is not timed, there's a tendency for you to let procrastination creep in. And that's a very terrible thing to happen, because procrastination is the number one killer of dreams and ambition. Because if you believe that you have all the time in the world, then you might never start. Which is why the best way around it is when you are setting your goals, you put a time to it. That way you monitor yourself, you know when you're about to go to bed and you wake up from your sleep and, go back to pursuing that goal. So in my opinion, my goals are not exactly smart, because I'm not exactly setting goals that meet the measurability metric, the achievability metric, and the relevance metric. But in all, I feel very confident that I have goals that I will pursue until they're achieved. And if I don't achieve them, I'll still be glad that I tried. Okay, so I'm going to just share with you some of the goals that I intend to pursue, so that you see which one you are interested in, and which one you can spur me to achieve, and even the ones that you can help me achieve. Because I know someday, sometime, or in some way or somehow, certain goals of certain persons are tied to other people. So maybe if I share my goal, there might be somebody who's watching who might have some way to help me achieve them. So I'm going to do that right after now. So thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe, turn on your notifications. Okay, it's going to be a jolly good ride. It's going to be a wonderful one, and I just want you to stick around and enjoy this with me. Thank you.